Joining me now is Monika Hewitt of Monika Michelle Events right here in Brunswick County. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so it's November and we're getting into engagement season.
Yes,
which
love this
is
time of
a
the
big
year.
time for folks who are, looking to pop the question.
Yes.
And once that happens, wedding fever is on the minds
Exactly.
of many women and families.
Yes.
So you're there for them
I
to
am
plan
there.
their big day.
Yes.
So tell me about how you got into wedding planning and event planning.
Ever since I was a little girl, I loved playing with my Barbies and planning stuff with the Barbies. So as I grew up, I had an aunt who did wedding flowers and equipment rental. And I would always go with her to set up weddings, and I loved it. I loved all the parts and pieces and watching something go from a blank slate to this beautiful wow factor. So I was always going with her doing that. So as I grew up, I would do parties and events for friends, and I was very detailed, and everybody seemed to love that. So it kind of came natural to me to want to do it. And I did the first wedding, and it was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. And then I did another and another, because people would just ask, will you help us do this? Will you help us do that? And so from that, it grew. So in 2007, I started my event planning business, and it's just been going ever since. So.
And then you say, you go from one to the next to the next, and that has to be so exciting that every wedding is unique.
It is. It is.
How do you go about planning a wedding when a client comes to you? What's
when a
the
client
first
comes
step?
to me, the first thing we want to do is just have a consultation with them, because we need to see if it's a good fit. See if we can deliver what they want and if they want what we have to offer as a service. So I do a free consultation with them. We sit down and we talk. It's usually about an hour and a half. And so we try to get to know, we have certain questions that we ask, just trying to get to know the person. Because this is a person you're going to spend a lot of time with to help them make one of the most important days of their life come to life. So we sit down and we ask a ton of questions just to get to know the couple. And you would think, well, why would you do that? But it's in order to get to know them, so we can kind of help make sure what they like, what they don't like. And then from the planning process, we have monthly meetings so that we interact with them. And depending on the service that they choose, if it's full service coordination and design, we work with them a little bit closer than if it's month of event planning. So there's two different packages that we offer, but we try to get to know them and figure out so that they can get what they want.
Monika, what's the difference between the full service and the month of event coordination? I thought that was interesting. I've never really heard that before.
Okay. Full service is where we start with the bride, a lot of times shortly after she becomes engaged. So we sit down and we start with you and we walk you through all the vendors. We help you pick out your dress. We help you pick out venue locations that work within the budget that you've told us you have for your event, because that's very important. So if you have a budget of $25,000, well, I don't need to show you a venue that's automatically going to cost $8,000.
Okay.
You just don't want to do that, because that's not fair to your client. So what you want to do is pick vendors that work within the budget that they have. And so with that, we work with them to get all of those vendors set up, and we walk you through all the months leading up to your day. If it is month of coordination, then we come in after you've already chosen your vendors, and we go over your contracts, make sure you haven't missed anything, and we come in, we review your contracts, and then we're just there to make sure those last days, everything is in place.
There may be some people watching wondering, why do I even need a wedding planner or event planner? They may think it's too expensive, they may just not consider it because they don't think that it'll work for them. What do you say to those folks?
I say we help you make sure you don't miss any details. If you've never planned a wedding or an event, there's a lot of parts and pieces to making it work. So in that's what we do. We take a lot of the stress and the pressure, and it's your wedding. You want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to enjoy your guests, your new husband. As a mother of a bride, they feel a lot of the stress that their daughter is going through. So we want to make sure that they're happy as well. So we try to make it to where you all get to enjoy your day. Because for all the planning that you do, a wedding ceremony, average 30 minutes, and then you've got a reception. Well, it's no fun for you to be running around trying to handle issues that come up with different vendors. You leave all of that to us. We take care of that. So you won't know if there's any issues. To you, everything will go smoothly. We'll make sure of that.
It's a day where you ought to enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
And when you hire an event planner, it's a sure thing.
Yep,
Especially
that's a
with
service
you.
that we make sure we pay attention to all those details. So we make sure that the details are not overlooked. The wealth and beauty is in the details. So
Yeah.
we try to make that happen.
And speaking of details, you know, you see a lot of folks, they kind of have an idea of what they want. They're looking on Pinterest, they're looking on The Knot, you know, all these different websites online, and they kind of have an idea of what's trendy and what's, you know, out there and popular. I know there might be a lot of folks that go to weddings, you know, several weddings every summer, and they see kind of the same thing. What do you do to make it unique?
When we talk with our couples, we try to find out what makes you unique. Your wedding should be a reflection of who you are, the things that are important to you as a couple. This is the beginning that folks get to see you and your mate the first time as a unit. So make it where it's about you. If you have a favorite song, if you love skateboarding, if you love gardening, make sure you pull those elements into your day, because that's a representation of who you are. You don't have to follow the trends. Make it unique. Every individual is just that, an individual. So make your wedding be that as well. And so we try to help the couples understand that that's okay. We'll still do it in whatever style you would like, but we want to bring more of your individuality into it.
Yeah, especially those things where, you know, there's interests that the couples share and
Exactly.
things that, you know, really define them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely things to think about.
Yes. Just because you live on the coast, it doesn't have to be a beach wedding. You know, if you live in the mountains, it doesn't have to be at a mountain, you know, lodge. It can be whatever you would like it to be, because it's a reflection of you and your mate. So,
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And we are here at the Barn at Rock Creek in Leland, which is one of your preferred vendors.
Yes.
Gorgeous location.
Yes.
It's gorgeous right now. I'm sure it looks even better when you
Yes.
have an event going
Yes.
on. And you're actually planning one right now. That'll be happening soon. And what do you do, or where do you go for your clients? Like if they want to have a wedding in Myrtle Beach or in Charleston or in Wilmington?
We look at all different venues. Some people want like golf courses. Some people want like a museum for a reception location. Some people like outdoors. Some people want the churches that they grew up in. So those are things that we find out as we talk to the couples, and then we suggest things based on what you're telling us that your likes are. Because again, because engagement season is coming up, one of the things that people have to realize, you need to book your venues as soon as possible. At least your ceremony and your reception. Those need to be one of the first two things you book, because sometimes they fill up pretty quickly. So
Right.
once you lock those in, then we can fill in the other parts and pieces. But those are two of the biggest ones, so we want to get those locked in.
And you're able to go with any event, not just weddings that you plan, because you don't just do weddings.
Yes,
We're
we
kind of
do all
focusing on that
events,
right
yes.
now, considering the time of year.
Right.
But if somebody has, and you were telling me about, it was a baby
A
shower,
baby shower
in Charlotte,
Yeah,
you were
we've
able
done
to
a baby
plan
shower.
that. And
We've done a business grand opening. We've done a couple of 50th anniversary parties. We do galas for nonprofit organizations.
okay.
So we can plan any event, big or small. It just depends on the client's needs.
Okay, and then we're, as I said, we're at the Barn at Rock Creek. And it's gorgeous out here.
Yes.
Tell me more about this location. I know this is pretty special to you and your business.
It is. I love this location. I met Leslie shortly after this venue opened, and I always wanted to work here. So I met a client, and she was looking for some options to have her reception. So she hadn't heard of the Barn at Rock Creek, and I told her, I said, have you thought about the Barn at Rock Creek in Leland? And she hadn't. So she reached out to Leslie after seeing the website, and when she did, she called Leslie, and she was able to book this location. And it is absolutely incredible. So it's almost like a hidden jewel here in Brunswick County.
Absolutely.
But it's a beautiful jewel. So can't wait for you to see it once everything is set up for this event, because it has so many possibilities. So many possibilities. So you can take it, it's almost like a blank slate, and you literally can make it be what you would like. And those are always fun, because it brings in that individuality we just talked about.
Yeah, and there's endless possibilities
Yes.
for photo opportunities.
Yes.
You know, you were telling me there's a swing
Yep,
just
there is
over
a
not far
swing.
from
Yep,
where
there
we
is a
are
swing.
sitting, and
Yep.
all kinds of different lakes and places for photos. So
Yep.
I know it's something a lot of people are
Yep.
considering
And it's big.
for
I think
photography.
this venue sits on 12 acres, so you've got plenty of space to be able to make it your own and really have an event that is you. And Leslie is wonderful to work with, and she makes every bride feel just as important as the last bride. Like, that's one of the things I love about her personality.
All right. Monika, our time's up.
Okay.
Tell our viewers where they can find you online, phone number, all that kind of information.
Okay. I am on Facebook and Instagram under Monika Michelle Events. We have a website, www.monikamichelleevents.com. We would love for you to take a look at our website, and if you have an event coming up, we would love the opportunity to be able to talk to you and try to help you plan your event.
Right. And that's weddings, retirement parties, birthdays,
if it's an
whatever
event,
you need.
we can plan it.
All right, Monika, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice speaking with you.
Nice to talk to you as well.